Good Sunday morning to you. It's a beautiful day out here and the heat has broken a little bit, so I was hoping to get out to the park this morning, and I took my my trusty Mamiya 645 film camera. I loaded it up with some Ilford 400 film today, and I'm hoping to capture some images over at the park. It's been a long time since I've gone out and shot with this camera. I've shot film a few weeks ago and got some pretty good results from it. It's been a minute since I've had this larger format film camera out, and I'm hoping to capture some really good landscape images with it today down by the river. I did also outfit a red filter on this to hopefully enhance some of the black and white contrast. I'm gonna head to the park now and see what we can get, but first I've got to stop for an oil change in the Mazda, so come along. So like I've said, it's been a minute since I've had this camera out. I bought this used on eBay 8 years ago, maybe. It is a medium format camera. It's Mamiya 645 Pro. Brand new. This camera was way out of my reach when I first got into photography, but because it's a film camera and because digital has kind of done what it's done to photography, film cameras, especially older ones, have come down in price, made them a lot more affordable. This is a reflex camera. It does have the ability to change the lenses. It's got a visual prism on top with a light meter built in. It's battery operated. And then of course, as you saw when I was loading it up, it's got interchangeable backs, which made it a really popular camera with wedding photographers. You could grab 5 or 6 backs. You could load half of them with black and white film and half of them with color film, and then you could change on the fly, because you can, every one of these backs comes with a dark slide, and when you put the dark slide in the back, you can then pop the back off the camera without having to worry about exposing the film. Made it super convenient for wedding photographers. They could bounce between the two different types of film, two different ISO values. If you're shooting inside as opposed to outside, you could load 2 different kinds of film on it. And I love the format of the negative, because the negative is so much larger than 35 millimeter. So the other thing I love about shooting film is how it's a physical medium. All right, comes on a roll. It's a certain length. It's a certain width. You've got X number of exposures. You've got to make those work. Film costs money. Development chemicals cost money. Processing into prints all costs money. Every single frame in a film camera has a value. So it's unlike digital, when you can just keep shooting and shooting until you get the picture you like. In film, you've got to make it count. So you're thinking about your camera settings, your exposure, your composition. You're double checking all of that before you actually press the shutter button. So you're going to watch me shoot some things today. I won't have the images for you to share. I won't be able to share those right away. I am out of development chemicals at home for film, so I'm going to take them to a local shop that does my film development for me. And then when I get those negatives back, they're going to scan them for me, and I'll be able to pull them into Photoshop and do some things with them. And hopefully we get some good stuff today. Let's go see what we can find. Probably because I grew up here, but river traffic and barges and watching that traffic go up and down the river all day long. I could sit here and do it. I could sit here and watch it. I know those guys work hard. I know they're 30 days on, 30 days off. I can't imagine that kind of work schedule. I know they make pretty decent money, but man, that's hard work and it's dangerous work. The other thing to love about this is that sound. It kind of sounds like an old Polaroid camera where the instant pictures came out of the front. I have an automatic winder and a grip to kind of help me hold on to this a little more easily. And here you can see the red filter that I was talking about that helps just kind of increase some of the contrast in the black and white film. Let's go see if we can find another spot to shoot. Really bummed that I got to the train track a little too late when the Amtrak came screaming through. I was hoping to get a slower shutter speed going and just really capture that thing screaming through, but the gates dropped and the train was not far behind it. So I didn't get a chance to set the shot up before the train got here. So I did capture it on video. Trains come through here all the time, freights and Amtrak. It's a route south for Amtrak. So those do come through here on occasion. That one was headed back downtown and in quite a hurry. The photography bug came from my dad. Dad had an old Revere twin lens camera that actually shot stereo slides. You know, the Ektachrome and the Kodachrome slides you remember as a younger person like me. They had the single image and the white paper frame around them. Dad's slides actually were longer and they had two images. So when they were dropped into a stereo viewer, it was actually a three-dimensional image that they created. And you could either look at these slides through the three-dimensional viewer, or he also had a projector that had two bulbs, two lenses, and they converged into a single lens, and you could put that image onto a screen, and if you wore polarized sunglasses, you could get the same effect. Dad loved that camera. He knew how to use it so well. It didn't have its own automatic light meter in it, so he relied on a separate light meter, and I always thought he was the most brilliant man on the planet because he figured out how to use that thing, and I never could. Dad was not an artistic photographer. He captured moments in life to look at later in life, just as memories of my sister and I growing up and family vacations and things like that. He never really explored the creative angles of photography. When I was in high school, he and I went together and got our first 35mm camera. It was a Canon AE1 program, and Dad shot on the automatic settings an awful lot. I took that camera and actually used some of the manual settings and started learning about depth of field and exposure and how the exposure triangle worked, and that's what really piqued my interest in photography. I took a class in college that kind of amped that up a little bit. I got away from photography for a little while after I got out of school, but then finding deals on vintage film cameras like this and seeing the coming age of digital just kind of got my juices flowing again, and I thought, I need to get my hands back in this. I love photography. I did studio work for a number of years with some models and just did some really creative explorations into light and color and movement. And it's just a very satisfying way for me to spend my time. Photography is one of those art forms that has just the right blend of creativity and technology to kind of keep my brain engaged. And engaging my brain, that's a good thing. So here's a small little piece of trivia. This is the pavilion here at Cliff Cave Park. It seats quite a few people here, but the interesting thing that kind of ties Bridge and I to this park, we're right next to the river, and this little space right here in front of about 60 family and friends. A number of years ago, Bridge and I got married here. The trees have grown in quite a lot since that day in the fall. 55 degrees, everybody was freezing. But you can kind of see how close we are to the river. This place just really holds a special place in our hearts, and we love coming here to walk. There's a lot to love about this place for me. It's really close to where we live. It's a St. Louis County park. It's over 500 acres, and it's right next to the Mississippi River. There's a large flatland down here adjacent to the river with a 5-mile flat walking path. It's super easy to do. It's super easy for cyclists. Super easy to do for walkers, but there's also another part of the park that goes through, that's wooded and hilly, and there are mountain bike trails in there. You can hike through there, you can hike with your poles, you can walk. They've just done a really nice job with preserving this park. They updated it a few years ago for some accessible paths through the more wooded part. And that path went to places that the old paths didn't go to. So it kind of, when they were finished, it kind of felt like a whole new park. It felt like I didn't even live in this place anymore, that I was visiting someplace new, because I got to walk through and experience the park from a different viewpoint. Like I said earlier, we got married here back in 2012. I have a deeper, longer connection, I guess, with this place. Back when I was younger, and a little foolish, this park is called Cliff Cave County Park. There is a cave back in that part of the park that used to be accessible, and I've been in that cave, and I've been in that cave down to about 18 inches. It was a little terrifying, and I can't imagine myself doing that these days, but unfortunately, once upon a time, some people were trapped in that cave during a flash flood, and they unfortunately didn't make it out, so the county made the decision to close off the entrance to the cave with bars. You can still see into it. It's off the beaten path now, but you can still get to it. There's a walking trail that leads over to it. You just can't get in it anymore, and it's really unfortunate that that incident happened. I do remember when that happened back in the 90s. But I love bringing my bicycle here. I love coming here for a 1-hour walk. I can get, or an hour and 15 minutes, I can get around the 5-mile loop and a little more over here. Like I said, it's nice and flat and easy to walk here. And I also use this place as a place of just kind of escape. It's not far away from home. If I need more time to myself, I'll go jump in the car and jump across the river and head down the road, down the bluff road on the other side of the river. But for here, for an hour's worth of quiet time, it's worth it to just jump in the car, come down here, throw on the earbuds, and just walk for an hour. It's pretty active with people today. people walking their dogs. It's early. It's Sunday morning, about 10 to 9. And everybody's really friendly this morning. Let me know if you have a place that you like to go. Is there a place close to home? Is there a place that you go to, drive to, when you need time to think or just needs to quiet your brain? Share them with me in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I think I'm going to take a few more shots here and see if I can fill this roll up, and then I'm going to head back home. I mentioned they renovated this park several years ago. There's the lower part that we were just walking in and taking pictures in, and then there's an upper part. The lower part is of course closer to the river. The upper part up here on the bluff, there's a second part to this park that they've captured, and this is where some of the more natural hiking trails and cycling trails are. And I was just hoping to show you a little bit of the surrounds up here to give you a better idea of just kind of how massive this place is and all of the different landscapes that it captures. Because it's a little more hilly and a little more challenging, this part of the park is a lot more quiet. There doesn't seem to be as many people back on this woodland trail as there are out walking their dogs down by the river. And it's just very peaceful back here. Love it. I also use this time in place of reaching for my phone or spending time on social media. This is another one of my diversions and another reason why I've been so attracted to the analog portion of my life lately. There are hundreds of other things I can be doing rather than doom scrolling on my phone and seeing who's mad at whom. This is a lot more rewarding. And so it's either progress or developing a new habit. We went over to some friend's house last night for a dinner party. Had a blast, played board games, ate a really delicious dinner. It was awesome. And we were there for probably 2 hours before I realized that I had left my phone in my car. And it was a little telling because everybody who did have their phones with them, it's just interesting. I'm not judging, but it is interesting to watch how often people reach for their phones and how long they stare at them before re-engaging with the people who are actually standing in the room. We're catching up to the part of the trail now that joins up with the paved path, and it leads to an overlook of the river, and it's coming up here in just a little bit, and I'm going to share that with you because the view, while it's not mountainous and we don't have an ocean anywhere close to here, this is the best thing we get in my part of the world for a view, and it actually is quite spectacular. Just wanted to provide a glimpse into that lower part of the park. That's the parking lot we were just in, and that's a trail that goes off way out there in the distance. That's part of the 5-mile loop that'll take you around the bottom part of the park. And that is the Mississippi. And across the Mississippi, of course, is Illinois. Light river traffic today, but we were lucky enough to catch that barge earlier. I'm grateful for that. Well, since I'm still pretty new to this, I'm still looking for ways to express my genuine gratitude to those of you who chose to spend some of your day with me today. I will continue as best I can to trying to produce meaningful and interesting content. If you have any ideas or any questions about the things that you see in my videos, please feel free to drop a line down there in the comments. Otherwise, I'll be working on the next one, and I hope all of you have a most excellent day. Take care, and I'll see you next time.